Alright, buckle up everyone, because we're diving into the chaotic, caffeine-fueled saga of building a Google Classroom clone against the ticking clock of the Zimbabwe Science Fair 2025 edition. This isn't just app development, it's a journey, a battle against deadlines, and a desperate attempt to prove that I'm a semi-competent programmer. I think I'm a semi-competent programmer at least. You see, Google Classroom is a free application developed by Google for schools that aims to simplify creating, distributing, and grading assignments. It streamlines the process of sharing files between teachers and students. Essentially, it's a digital hub for classrooms, and I wanted to build it, but better. I wanted to create EduConnect, an all-in-one educational powerhouse. And the science fair? Well, it was the perfect excuse to finally dive in and ignore all my other responsibilities and all of my other projects, throwing them all into the abyss basically. However, first things first, the blueprint. What did EduConnect need to be? Beyond the core functionality of Google Classroom like assignments, authentication, class streams, grading, document sharing, profiles, and a calendar, I envisioned more for EduConnect. An educational Swiss army knife. A tool that students would genuinely love. It's not like I don't love Google Classroom, it's just sometimes it doesn't have the features I need to actually do my daily school life, you know? So I needed to add more, like to-dos to keep track of all the chaos, notes with styling because I love Markdown, it's absolutely terrific, chats for seamless collaboration between students, and an AI because it's 2025 and I'm really surprised Google hasn't implemented Gemini into Classroom yet. It's very surprising. Luckily, I will be implementing Gemini into this application. And finally, class customization, because Google Classroom doesn't have the greatest class customization. And also dark mode by default because we need dark mode. It's 2025. I'm surprised websites still even have a light mode. Anyways, now for the tooling. Firstly, I was thinking of using Firebase because it's free and powerful. It was genuinely a no-brainer due to just the sheer amount of features and support and community it has. It's perfect in this situation. And especially due to the science people don't have time, you know? There isn't time. And for the framework, I was thinking it had to support web and mobile and not be Rust. I've been doing a lot of Rust stuff recently and I feel I need to add more diversity to this channel. So we're gonna stick with something else today. And my options eventually boiled down to Flutter and React Native, which are two genuinely great options to build your applications. But I felt Flutter would be a bit better in this situation with its Dart magic and Google blessings, you know, it will seamlessly work with Firebase, which I really do love. Again, I don't have time, so I need stuff that just work together without any hassle. And also, it was mainly because of Dart as well. It's very quick, static typing, and it doesn't have all those weird quirks that JavaScript has, that JavaScript devs say they like, but they don't. Or some of them don't like them at all, and I'm with that group, you know? And finally, to make my life marginally less painful, I recruited a wide range of libraries to make this all possible, like Riverpod for state management, Flutter Markdown for Markdown, and other genuinely incredible tools that will help me throughout the entire process of building this application. And so the journey began. Could I really pull this off? Was I really a great programmer? Well, only time will tell. And with the schedule already packed tighter than a sardine can, time is going to be able to tell really quickly. So anyways, I needed to get started off by shaking off the rust from my Dart and Flutter skills. It's been a long time. I literally don't know the last thing I built in Flutter. So thankfully, however, I did have a couple old projects that kind of meshed together with this, like a chat app. So I just tore that apart, added it to this project, and already one bit done. But firstly, login and registration, which was very easy. Firebase makes it so easy. One function and the entire thing is done. User authentication done. User creation basically done already. And yeah, it wasn't that difficult. Literally, registration was a bit more difficult because of the whole user creation part. I had to add the user to my databases, which means I had to set up Firebase auth and Firebase DB, whatever. Firestore, whatever, same time, whatever. It's done. Then the chat system, which was my first major blunder. I decided to build it from scratch instead of the plethora of Flutter Firebase chat libraries that already existed, which was definitely a rookie mistake, fueled by a misguided sense of pride. But nonetheless, I built it from scratch and it came out functional, which is all I really wanted in a project anyways. And then classes were next, which, leveraging the chat system's foundation, I'm easily building the chat and people's pages. The dashboard, which needed to be a hub of essential class information like assignments and messages, came and went with very little difficulty. It was basically just copying and pasting a bunch of code over and over again until it was finished. The assignment, the digital exercises students needed to complete and hand in, were up next and required 3 different pages, so not that big in comparison to like the whole application. I think it is still the biggest part, so what can I say? We needed an overview showing all of the different assignments a teacher had created. We needed a page that teachers could access to mark different assignments that were submitted, and a student submission page so that they could actually hand in their assignments. Very important, I got all 3 of those, otherwise it wouldn't work. So the assignment system was very difficult in a way, because it forced me to handle documents, which opened up a pivotal cross-platform puzzle that threatened to unravel the entire project. My initial vision was grand. Seamless uploading and viewing of every conceivable file type, from images to videos to PDFs and audio recordings, across every single platform and every single page of the application. It was a lofty goal, one that quickly collided with the harsh realities of time constraints. Because this is a science fair, I do not have time. And of course, platform inconsistencies, especially when viewing files. However, unfortunately, also in uploading them. The challenge wasn't just getting files onto Firebase storage. That was kind of an easy part. It was about ensuring that it worked regardless of whether they're on desktop, web, or mobile. Which, now that I think about it, was a bit useless because I only ever ended up showing the web version of my application. The rest I kind of just threw away. However, a breakthrough came with the discovery of the File Picker library. This cross-platform gem provided the essential foundation, abstracting away all the complexities of native file selection and handling, and just allowing for me to spend less time on this stupid issue. However, the work was far from over. Logic needed to be implemented to handle the diverse file types, efficiently upload those files to Firebase storage, and crucially, prevent file name collisions. This involved naming schemes that were not my brightest moments, to say the least. However, despite all my hard work, the dream of direct in-app viewing of all file types seamlessly had to be scaled down. Images, being the most common and straightforward, were prioritized, whilst videos, documents, and audio recordings were relegated to being a basic download option that didn't need to be rendered. Because time is definitely the issue here. With the uploading and basic viewing functionality in place, the focus shifted to creating the UI widgets. A carousel component was developed to display uploaded documents, allowing users to easily navigate through multiple files. This component was then strategically integrated throughout the application, from the chat interface to assignment submissions and profile selections, and all of that type of stuff. The consistent visual language not only enhanced the look of EduConnect, but also provided users with a familiar and intuitive way to interact with documents, solidifying at least one of the application's core functionalities. With assignments done, I knew to get started on the calendar system, which by all means is broken, was broken, and is still continuously going to be in a state of brokenness. How unfortunate. But in theory, it was meant to have 3 different levels of calendar: school, class, and individual. The individual calendar would show all events from the school and class calendars, plus it would show events added by the user. However, both the class and school calendars would only show events set by the administrators or teachers of the school or of individual classes. In my implementation of this system, I decided to use the calendar view library, which was most probably a mistake because it was A, confusing to work with, and B, styling was incredibly difficult with this add-on. Or at least it was for me. Styling isn't my strong point when it comes to anything really. But this was definitely much harder than it usually is in Flutter. Next up were profiles and settings, the finishing touches for an MVP, minimum viable product. But the real fun began with extra features, the ones that would make EduConnect stand out, like AI, the buzzword of 2024 and 5 at least, found its home in 2 different forms: a conversational chatbot powered by Gemini, and an AI that could answer questions about teacher uploaded documents. The embedding part of the second AI, let's just say it was a battle fought on fumes, resulting in an incomplete product that was just a simplified AI that could only handle basic queries, not related to the documents the teacher uploaded. And then you can finally end off this video by talking about the Todos and Notes system. To-dos were pretty simple. They were just a column of tasks that were rendered inside of a worksheet, which is just one of those like pop-ups you can get inside of Flutter. And the notes were rendered beautifully with Flutter Markdown, editable with a double tap, and with that, EduConnect, in all its slightly chaotic glory, was born. This wasn't just building an application. It was a race against time, a test of resilience, and a testament to the power of caffeine and sheer determination. And while EduConnect might not be perfect, it's a testament to my ability to procrastinate until it's absolutely necessary to work on a project, right before burning myself out working on said project. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to take a nap, maybe visit my therapist, especially after I lost that science fair. I'm back from that therapy session, months later of course, because I recorded this audio so long ago and I'm finally trying to upload it. Except I've kind of missed every deadline I set for myself. Mainly because this whole thing is very difficult. Doing a bunch of coding projects for you guys and all of that, and my other life outside of YouTube and creative coders has been kind of difficult trying to balance it all. And it's become a bit of an uphill battle. If I am going to succeed in actually doing 2-week uploads, or an upload every 2 weeks, then I think I'm going to need to change the general content I upload. Maybe not get rid of all the stuff I've been uploading lately, like stuff to do with Godot and Rust and the Rust UI wars. That's all great, I love all of that. But I think I need to maybe diversify a bit. I need to start doing videos that don't take like hours, or not just hours, but days, maybe weeks to make, because it leaves me very little time to upload and I'm forced to create lower quality content than what I want to actually achieve with this channel. So I'm just going to start uploading some new types of contents in the next couple of weeks. I'll probably try and get episodes out like a week, I guess. And for the next 2 weeks, I'll try and get an episode out every week, just so that I can see what type of content I can do instead of just coding and app and game creation content. I'm planning on doing a lot more stuff when it comes to, I guess, Linux as a whole and Raspberry Pis. I just want to explore that bit more when it comes to my channel, And even if you may not particularly like it, I enjoy making those videos. Or in theory, I enjoy making those videos. I haven't actually made one yet, but hopefully I will, because I actually enjoy those topics a lot. Not like I don't enjoy coding, I do, but it's tiring. Anyways, this has been this episode. I'll see you guys in the next one, where I'll be talking about Pop OS and seeing all of the beautiful stuff that it has to offer. In fact, I'm using it right now and it's been terrific. But more on that in the next episode. Goodbye.